In today's video, I will open up about myself and my biggest mistakes in regards of getting tattooed. I want to start saying that it's not only bad things about getting tattooed, and I personally love 99% of my tattoos. I most of the time have had very good experiences getting them, but I've also experienced some crazy stuff about getting a tattoo. First one was actually my first tattoo. I don't know where to start. I'm from this little village here in Denmark, and I had friends that were getting tattooed by this ex-biker guy. I remember that I wanted a tattoo. I wanted my You Never Walk Alone tattoo across my back because I'm a huge Liverpool FC supporter. I thought that upper back, no one will see it, my mom won't notice, and I can always cover it. I thought that was the best idea ever, and I didn't pay attention to the artist and what he was capable of doing. And to be honest, I didn't even look at the quality of what he had made on my friends. Or I did, but I didn't know anything about how was a good tattoo supposed to look. So I went there, I got my tattoo, but before I got my tattoo, I was sitting basically in like a loft connected to his farm, and it was bike workshop and then tattoo studio next to it, and it was with like big skulls on the walls. But I didn't bother. I just got my tattoo. Eventually it turned out to be okay, but I didn't get any feedback on placement, whether design was okay, or any of his experience, because he was doing the tattoo to get paid. And it was actually okay, but I would have loved that I knew what I know today, and that I picked an artist that were a specialist within doing lettering, because I was getting this crisp piece of lettering on my back, and it weren't as crisp as what a good lettering tattoo artist could have done on me. And you might imagine that I would have learned anything from it. I didn't. I went to Vietnam, where I was living for 6 months when I was 19, and I remember that I wanted to get a tattoo. So I asked a colleague of mine, where's the nearby tattoo artist? And I went to that place, and I got this very cliche tattoo, a star on my ribcage. Nothing bad about star tattoos, guys, but a lot of people is wearing them, and a lot of people probably haven't paid too much attention to why they got them. I was one of those. However, that tattoo cost me like $15 US. It hurt like a mother F, and the outlines were so crooked. I mean, so freaking crooked. And in one of those pointy angles, it's like the line is continuing like this. But it was cheap. I got it done, and I freaking went to the same artist 2 weeks after and got another tattoo. And I got this, another cliche tattoo. And I got this on my upper arm. Same artist, it was a small loft, it was dirty as fuck. It was very dirty. I got it done, and I think I paid like $80, $70, something like that for the art, for the tattoo. It hurt crazily, and it was hurting in a way it weren't supposed to. Eventually, I got the tattoo. It looked okay when I left the studio. It was in the studio when I left the loft, and I got the worst infection I've ever seen with anyone. And I've seen a lot of infected tattoos. And I had to go to the local pharmacy in Vietnam. I didn't speak the language. The poor woman in the pharmacy didn't speak English, but she could see that something was really up with my arm. So I got pills, I got creams, I got everything, and I was sick for like a week. It was terrible. And back then there were no aftercare instructions. There were no, sorry mom, and I was trying to help you guys take good care of your tattoos. So I did what I thought was the best. It weren't good at all. Terrible, terrible, terrible experience. Once I got my light bulb on my arm, and I went directly from the studio out to play football in this artificial grass thing, and I basically ripped it up by stumbling on my feet, falling over. It ended up healing up terrible because it got infected as well. And also I tried being very stupid and naive about what I were capable of doing while getting a tattoo. So I remember that a good friend of mine, Amaric, a tattoo artist from France, was doing this floral old school thing on my elbow. And I was so smart that I scheduled that session at the same time as I had a very important conference call. So I was lying there in probably the worst pain I ever experienced in getting tattooed, and trying to keep up with this her agent from Shopify, where we were building our website with and transitioning over to their Shopify Plus platform. And I had to tap out, not from the call because that was important, but I had to tap out of the tattoo session for an hour and a half. And trust me, when I got back to that, you don't want to do too long breaks, because you get used to being away from the pain, and then suddenly you just back in again. Yeah, imagine that you're on fire and then someone puts you out and then they light you up again. You don't want to do that. As always, as we always preach on this channel, think about what you get tattooed and from who you get your tattoo, and make sure that you are in a good state of mind, well rested, in an environment where you feel safe and where you are safe, because what I did in Vietnam, that was gross, and the result was gross as well, and the experience was absolutely terrible. And today you can't even see it because that thing has been covered up twice. I don't want that for my worst enemies at all. It's terrible. So yeah, that was a bit of my personal stories. Welcome to the life of Rasmus and getting bad tattoos. Luckily, the 30 or 40 tattoos that I got after the bad ones has been great experiences from great artists. I also did my research in advance of getting them. So that's just me opening up. I hope you're willing to do the same. Leave your bad tattoo experience in the comment section below. Ask your questions and then remember to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.